about, okay, let's talk about the agency owner. What type of individual, not the sales or setter, like what type of Jeff would fail with this type of model?
The type of Jeff that would fail is the guy that's like, yo, I got a sale, and then like blast it out to the world like they deserve validation type of thing. Because you're not getting that rush. Like you're not fighting any fish to like, there's no Moby Dick. It's just, hey man, I've got lemonade for 45 cents. Do you want it? Somebody comes up and buys lemonade. That's the excitement. That was it. There's no like, holy shit, I conquered, I got it. So the sales Jeff or the validation Jeff of like, holy shit, I won, I'm good enough, let me show you everything. Like that doesn't get validated, and that doesn't feel happy with this model, which is, I didn't have to fight anybody for this sale, man. It doesn't feel like a win. Right. But the good news is that the fulfillment side of the agency owner, that other side of the brain that like wants to keep people, make them happy and everything work, that person loves his job. Like, hey, we got leads came in, cool, we did some live transfers, everything is fine, see you later, goodbye. And so that really optimizes for super high margin, super sticky. I'm not saying they're never going to leave you. What I'm saying is like when they try other agencies that are like, a certain number of appointments guaranteed or ROAS guaranteed or ROI guaranteed, they go like, nah, man, fuck that. Like, I'll just stick with Jeff. So that's the side that wins. The side that loses is the sales side. But agencies are based upon fulfillment. So that ends up working.
I feel like when I first heard this model and when I, learned how you did it and everything like that, there's a part of me that was like, oh, this is super cool, I like this. But then there was still that like cringy agency owner side of me who was like, well, I'm not going to have like the higher retainer, like, oh, I could charge more, charge what you're worth. Right. And then there's a side of me where I was like, what? I can't go flex. So I have a setter and a sales. Like there was a part of me. There's a part of me where I was like, that's not that shiny, or it's kind of boring. Or there was just that aspect I had to almost get over, or, over time I've gotten past that. I was like, screw that. Once I've gotten older, I realized I just want to be married, not have to worry about finances, get real results. So I'm not falling asleep worrying about a refund. And once I realized that, I'm like, cool, this makes sense. But I feel like that's also the agency owner is like, oh, and another thing too, is with your process, it does require some work on your end. Meaning you have to you're texting the person, you're taking the sales call, you are setting up the ads, which takes a few minutes. But I feel like there's still some agency owners who are like, what? I'm just going to outsource it. I need systems, SOPs, and they won't take 15 minutes of an ad campaign.
Correct. And that's because their identity is based upon, sales is winning. They saw that Wolf of Wall Street movie where the guy says, quote, last year I made $50 million, which I'm super pissed about because it's 2 million, then 2 million shy of 1 million a week or something like that. I'm like, damn, man, I want to live that life. But, also it's a big box of lies. It doesn't work the way you think and everybody goes to jail. And if you really want to drastically and dramatically improve your life, expand the time frame that you operate in. And so the people that employ that line of thinking operate in very short time frames. Like I'm talking weeks or months. But the people that employ the longer term time frame think years, half decades, or decades. And it sucks in the beginning because like the average agency owner is like a single 18-year-old male that desperately wants to move out of his house. That's like the standard YouTube. Like you fall into the like that funnel. That's the demographics. It's just how it is. So the way the culture and the brain seeks validation, seeks tribe, seeks totem pole, seeks the type of stuff that lines up with selling. Right. I think once you turn like mid to late 20s, and this is the same transformation that Becker is going through, where you realize, man, like sales are supposed to happen. That's no big deal. Like you have a signpost, people come and buy your stuff. But the expression of great business or great person is on the fulfillment side, not on the sales side. So if you have a deck and you're like, man, I'm gonna close this deal, man, grab him, fucking get him. Like, like wrong line of thinking. Like that's 99% of people that burn out and drop out of agency, and then just rotate to either faceless YouTube channels or drop shipping anonymous or e-commerce flipping. Like they just keep moving to the next sales thing. Instead of building materiality and building timelessness and building bones that last. So I think like going back to your first question was like, who loses out? The salespeople lose out, but the people who win are correct. But the people who win are the agency owners and the clients.